Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on Look Up with Beau. This is my 6th video in and I can't believe that we're here. So this week I went onto Instagram and I asked some of the audience to ask me questions for this video, and I'd like to answer some of those questions. I got flooded with a bunch of questions, so I'm only going to read out a few that really stood out for me and that I think will make good content for this video. So first off, I'd like to thank everybody that follows me on Instagram, and if you don't and you would like to follow me just to keep up with my journey throughout the week, you can follow me. It's at Beau Brooks. So I asked you guys to ask me questions that relate to health and fitness, mental health and well-being, and any advice that you guys would like from my experience of learning throughout the past year of incorporating daily habits and sobriety throughout my life. So I'm going to read some questions out and answer them to the best of my ability. Keep in mind, I have not come into this prepared, so I'm just speaking at the top of my head, so hopefully it's good. Okay, so Kaz267 asked me, how did you get in the headspace to start exercising so early in the morning? So what began first throughout my whole journey was exercise. My goal was to reduce my body fat because I didn't like my outer appearance. So I just simply started with walking 15 minutes on the treadmill every single day for about 8 weeks, and I noticed significant improvement. It wasn't until maybe 6-7 months later that I recognized the benefits from training early in the morning, but I had to go through a few more habits incorporated into my life before I figured out why training in the morning is so good for you. And if you are just starting your fitness journey now, I would highly recommend start exercising early in the mornings now, so you don't waste time in the future and have to learn about it later on. So I found this method through a book I was reading called The 5 a.m. Club, and it's got a huge list of benefits of how waking up before 5 a.m. in the morning helps with your overall production and creativity throughout the day. In the book, 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, he goes on to mention how exercising as soon as you wake up energizes your body. When you decide to do something hard of tasks throughout the whole day, it sets your body and mind up for the rest of the day. So I found when I started exercising first thing in the morning, after I accomplished that task, I felt like I could do anything. And there are a whole bunch of scientific reasons of how it reduces cortisol, which is your stress level, and how it increases dopamine, which can flow into the productivity of your day. And once you notice these benefits, once you actually start to do them and grow consistency with the habits, you see the output of your production maximize. And once you realize how much your life has been maximized by a task that you select to do, which is pretty hard, you become addicted to wanting to keep waking up early in the morning and to keep that progression and that flow going on. So it starts off with trying it first. Try it first, and then it starts with trying to keep it as a habit. And then once it becomes a habit, it's not really a headspace, it's just something that you do. So Connor Gardiner, who has been a long-term supporter, has asked me, how do you stay so fit and healthy? Steroids. No, I truly believe the reason I stay so fit and healthy is through mindset. It's knowing my whys. And I've mentioned this in previous videos, but once you know your why, you can bear almost anyhow. And my why is to keep going, to be able to support my family, and to be the strong, capable man that society, the world, my family, and that I need from myself. So staying fit and healthy is just an incremental step to becoming the person that I want to be. I want to be a happy person. I want to be a joyful person to be around, trustworthy person, and to have these values distilled in myself. I think a very big starting point is to stay fit and healthy and to mind what's going into my body. It's not going to be alcohol, it's not going to be drugs, it's going to be healthy foods, it's going to be things that can replenish me, that can keep me going for longer. And then I'm also going to be exercising to push my body to my mind's limits. And staying fit and healthy is just a byproduct of everything that I'm doing. And eventually I'm going to be having an 8-pack, and I'm not It's not something that that I'm aiming to get, but it's something that will naturally come just through the mindset of knowing my why. And Connor, what I would say to you is, if you're having trouble staying fit and healthy, is to constantly remind yourself and to ask yourself, what is your why? So this is a good one. Miss Whalebone said, nice username, how do you handle bad mental health days where you have no motivation and just feel really low? I'm not sure if you can tell by my face and kind of my energy in this video, but today I have very, very low motivation, and today I just feel tired and I don't want to do things. And this is probably because I've had a really long week, and I know tomorrow I've got a 15-kilometer run. This morning I did a 1-kilometer swim, and I've tracked over maybe 30 kilometers this week from running, and then I've done shift work, and it all just adds up. And today it's just all fallen on me. But I have motivation because today, I'm not going to lie, after my swim, I did go lay down in my bed, but I just thought, what am I doing? Like, this is boring. I want to do something that is going to make me feel good. And I think I'm at the stage of my life where it's not motivation anymore. It's just part of my consistent routine. And once you have built consistency, which starts off very slow, you must start off very slow and then incrementally introduce things into your life, you find it's not motivation that's pushing you anymore. It's more so discipline. And it's the discipline to say to yourself when you're in bed, okay, come on, get up, let's do something. It's not motivation to say, I'm going to get absolutely rich today, I'm going to get absolutely ripped today, because those things take so much time. I guess a lot of other things that help with motivation is minding what you are putting into your body, because these things help. And I've been looking into gut research, and gut health is very important. It is actually controls, I think it's like 50% of your dopamine levels. It controls a whole bunch of things and is linked to your brain. You have to consider what you are ingesting, and that's not just with food, and that's not just with drinks and water. It's also with things that you listen to, people you surround yourself with. It's things that you read, things that you absorb, things that you take in. It all helps with the advancement of getting through your day doing productive things. Next question is from CobIndel_07. If someone is giving you a hard time, how would you deal with it? For the people that have given me a hard time in the past, I've usually just picked up a fridge and thrown it at their face, and then they haven't got much more to say. And I feel like when you do that more often, you become stronger, your biceps become bigger, and then no one will mess with you. Now, but in all seriousness, if someone is messing with you and giving you a hard time, it's so cliche, and we're all told this as young kids from our teachers and from our parents, but just to ignore them, because what happens is bullies get bored and they move on to the next thing. You also have to understand that what they're saying is just momentary. And if you take 3 deep breaths or count down from 5 when something agitates you or frustrates you or annoys you, it gives you time to reflect on yourself and to consider your environment, where you are and who you are, before reacting through emotion. I grew up with a very short temper and a very short fuse, and I would snap emotionally when I was triggered, and I would usually yell or get really angry or go and punch a wall. I used to really get angry and let things bother me. But one thing my mum always tried to implant into my brain is to just breathe, just relax. If something's bothering you for a long period of time, consider, I know I've said this before and it sounds boring, but to journal and to let it out in your journal, so that way you can reflect on why it's upsetting you or what you can do to self-improve to make your life a little bit more better. As long as you know when you rest your head on your pillow at night that you have done every single thing that you've said that you would do to try and improve your life, I don't think anything that anyone says could ever bother you. I get a lot of hate. For example, I get a lot of hate on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube But I don't let these things bother me because I know that these people on the other side of the screens have no idea of the person that I am. They don't know the life that I live. They don't know what I'm going through. And for somebody to criticize somebody else on just their outer appearance or just a little portion of what they're showing from their day-to-day life really shows the IQ of the person who is criticizing, and they are most likely criticizing the other person because they see something wrong with their life. Anyway, keep in mind that nobody really thinks about you. Everybody is in their own head, and you see it every single day when you walk out on the streets and you just look at people. They're just in their own head, and when you make eye contact with these people, you see you almost see yourself reflecting back at you, because everybody is going through the same shit. Everybody has something on their head. Everybody's thinking about themselves and self-evaluating themselves all the time. So their thoughts and opinions on you aren't as heavy as what you think they are. Just do your own thing and smile at the haters, walk past, wave at people, and move on with your day and try and be the best person that you can possibly be. Okay, so this is from Dali32. How can I help a friend that is heavily drinking and using coke and crack to use less? He has a job too. There's nothing you can really do to stop someone from doing something. They have to learn themselves. And I think the best thing that you can possibly do is focus on your own well-being, and if anything, lead by action. And that might not work at all, but at the end of the day, at least you have a strong foundation for if that person does want to try and change their lives, they've got someone to fall back on, which will be you. And you can lead by example to be able to give advice when they ask for it, because if you impose too much, it might even do the opposite and contradict everything that you're doing and make them want to use even more. When I was using and I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, if somebody came up to me and said, you shouldn't be doing that, I'd literally tell them, fuck off. You don't have any say. This is my life. I can do what I want. I'll quit when I want. And a big one I used to say is, I'm not addicted to anything. I can quit whenever I want. And then someone would say to me, well, why don't you quit now? And I'd say, I don't want to. And that is still something that I hear from a lot of addicts. It is kind of just a quick, fast response, a witty response to being able to get people off their backs. And a bunch of people, good people with good intentions, would usually say to me, you know, smoking will kill you. And I would just be like, yeah, I know, I need to quit. But I never quit because somebody mentioned that to me, because I knew what doing these substances would do to me in the long run. I was just too addicted to the quick release of dopamine. What you could do is start to introduce them into new environments and bring them into environments where drugs and alcohol are not necessary. For example, going for a run or exercise, you can constantly try to invite them, but you might get to a point where they keep saying no, where it's easier just to give up and wait for them to ask you. But put the offer out there so that they know that there is somebody in a different environment that they can go to. I would never recommend getting angry at a person for their addictions, because if you get angry at a person and threaten them or get abusive, loud or physical, then they'll just turn away from you completely, and you won't be a person that they can really turn to when they need it. In saying all this, I want to make it very, very clear that I'm not a professional on this topic, and I haven't done or got qualifications or specific learning to be able to give advice on this topic. So if you would like professional advice, I'd urge you to call a helpline for people to be able to talk to you more properly and with a better understanding through their studies and practices on this topic. I am just giving you examples of what I've learned from my personal addiction of going through drugs and what didn't work for me when it came to people trying to help me. So Jake_Kilroy56 said, I can't seem to get off my phone. I sit at home depressed scrolling. So the first step into kicking a habit is to realizing that you've got a bad habit, and you've just clearly stated that scrolling makes you depressed, therefore it's a bad habit. So the more you ponder on this, the more you'll realize that your time is being wasted by scrolling. And I think over time, your scrolling time will get shorter until it becomes a complete halt. I personally get anxious as soon as the TikTok screen comes up, and I go on TikTok for one reason, which is just to upload my videos or to search for something specific to look up for my studies or relation to my content creating. And as soon as somebody else's video comes up that I haven't searched for, I personally get anxious and I just click my phone off and get away from the situation. What can also help you is to have 3 different sections in your house. So the first environment is your bedroom, which is purely just for relaxation and sleep. The second is your work, where you have your laptop and your phone set up. And the third is just for any of those entertainment purposes, where you go into the room purely for the entertainment purposes. Once you start introducing your phone and your laptop into your bedroom, you'll find yourself having a very hard time going to sleep and also procrastinating getting out of bed. And I've found that having digital devices in my room before I go to sleep, in the first 2-3 hours of my sleep, it's very interrupted because my mind is focused on either entertainment or work, and my mind is not focusing on resting and going to sleep. But once those digital devices are out of my room, my brain automatically says to my body, this is your time to sleep, this is your space, this is your haven, this is where you can rest. So I strongly urge you to try and create those 3 different environments. And then after 2 weeks, send me a message and let me know how that went. I have recently started to introduce my phone and my laptop back into my bedroom, and I found exactly why I introduced it out of my bedroom. It literally disturbs my sleep, and I feel like I'm getting electric volt current shocks when I try to go to sleep within the first 2-3 hours. And I'm going into like a 45-second sleep, drifting and then coming back awake, and I'm thinking, why can't I sleep? And then I really reflected on what I was thinking about as I was falling into those 45 seconds of sleep, and it was work, it was social media, it was comments of people's opinions. It was not a place of rest, it was a place of anxious, tiring work. Another habit that will help you to stop scrolling is to simply count back from 5 down to 1. And this has had proven scientific studies, which I don't know too well in depth, that when you count back from 5 to 1, your brain automatically starts the task that you tell yourself that you're going to do. So as you're scrolling, if you can try and remember this, say to yourself, I'm going to stop scrolling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you just put your phone down, and that will help you to stop scrolling. Another method that may help is to just simply ask yourself, why am I scrolling? What am I doing, and what is this purpose? If it's for entertainment, give yourself a time limit of entertainment before you start the next task that is going to help you be productive and a better member of society. I hope those little tips help out, and please send me some messages after 2 weeks of you trying these tips and let me know how they went. So Sleepy on TikTok said, you've got a disgusting sense of entitlement. Laugh my ass off. You're a failed social media delusion. I am entitled to an opinion that I have on mental health and well-being and the productiveness of my life and the advancement of my life from where I was at after fame and success through drug addiction and getting into an endless cycle and loop of consistent binge weekend partying and drinking into the person that I am now, which I am entitled to talk about because I do have a great sense of pride in my new daily habits. I don't think it's a disgusting sense of entitlement. I think a disgusting sense of entitlement is thinking that you're entitled to something without doing any hard work or doing what it takes to be able to deserve the things that you are receiving. And through taking things selfishly, I think that is entitlement. I think everything that I have gained to this day has been earned, and it may not be financial or fame. It might not be success by what people judge success by, but it is a strong and healthy mental mindset and I think I'm completely entitled to talk about that. And for you to say that I'm a failed social media star, well, I might not have been as viewed as what I once was. I might not have as big of an audience as I used to have, but I think the audience that I have right now are a tight-knit community that all relate on advancement and betterment relating to mental health and sobriety. And I think that my audience is a strong audience of people with a like mindset. And I think, to me, that is a much bigger audience that I could ever ask for, because this audience gives me strength, and I am hoping to give strength back to the audience and to grow together, even if it's 4 or 5 people, as a strong, tight-knit community, because I think that people with a strong mindset can achieve anything that they put their mind to. And I might not have been successful by what you condemn successful, but I think I'm successful, wealthy, and rich in all areas of my life that relates to my every single day improvement. And I don't plan on stopping to make these videos, so if they really piss you off and they ruin your day, I strongly suggest you unfollow me, because you unfollowing me will give me more time to do the things that I love instead of responding to stupid comments such as this. So Jake _ Kilroy 56 again asked me another question. How was your time offline? Did you fall back into the social media trap? So many of you guys, I've seen comments saying, oh, I thought you said you were gone. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's doing it for attention. Oh, he's a narcissist because he said he was leaving social media forever. When I said I was leaving social media, I meant I was leaving social media for consuming. I didn't say that clearly, but I want to get it out there now just so you guys can stop commenting and making me out to be like such a terrible person. And just so you guys have a better understanding of what my goal of getting off social media actually meant. It meant limiting my time on social media. I only limit myself to 2 hours per day on social media, and that is strictly for business. That is to upload content, to reply to fans, and to run my business. And for all the people that are going to be hating on this video, I'm going to allow you to hate, because guess what? You found this video through scrolling. And while you're wasting your time commenting and getting the algorithm to work for me, because your comment helps my videos to be pushed out to more people, you're also getting my watch time up. I'm doing something productive while your hate comment is just expanding my reach. So instead of me replying to all the hate comments down on this video, I just want to say thank you and keep up the hate. Time for you to scroll, move on to the next video and the next creator that you want to hate on. Charlize Rose, how do you get into a good sleep schedule? It's definitely hard for me due to working night shifts. And I can relate to you on this one because I now work night shifts. And I was waking up at 5 a.m. before I started night shifts. And I tried to consistently wake up at 5 a.m. as I was doing night shifts for the first week. And I just realized that I was too tired, and me only getting 4 or 5 hours sleep would give me more time throughout the day, but my output and my frequency and vibration would not be at 100%. It'd be at somewhere like 60. And when I'm not putting my full self into the tasks that I want to complete, it's just a waste of time, really. So I've extended my wake up until 7 a.m. And the reason I want to wake up at 7 a.m. with at least 6 hours of sleep is so I can see the sunrise every morning, which I think is a very, very important event of my everyday daily routine and habits. And if you can't see the sunrise every single morning because you're working night shifts and you find yourself you're only getting 4 or 3 hours sleep before the 7 a.m. wake up, to go out as early as you can, as soon as you wake up, with at least 6 or 7 hours of sleep and get natural sun into your body. My nighttime routine and what helps me get a consistent 6-7 hours of sleep and wake up feeling fully energized: get all digital devices out of your room and out of your face 2 hours before you go to sleep. Have a hot shower before you get into bed. What this does is once you get out of the shower, your body heat reduces, and when you go into your room, a cool, dark room, and your body temperature is low and you get under the blankets, you'll find that it's easier to fall asleep. Before I get straight to sleep though, I do my reading, which I find tires my brain and allows me to absorb that last bit of information that I need and then to release it through journaling. And what doing journaling does before you go to sleep is it gets everything off your mind, so you're not thinking, what do I need to do the next day? You can write a to-do and checklist, or how did today go and where could have I gone better? And instead of thinking about all that stuff that's in your brain, you're physically letting it all out, and you can get your mind straight into the imagination of dreaming, which I find really, really helps. And that has been my nighttime routine for the past few months, and I've never found my sleep any more better. And I truly believe that you don't need any substances or vitamins or pills or anything that's outside of your body to be able to get inside of your body and to rest. So Charlize, I hope that helps. I hope you can message me within the next 2 weeks, and if you did implement any of those things that I was saying, let me know how that has worked out for you. It would be great feedback, because I'd like to share this with more of my community who does direct message me this question, because I do get asked a lot, but it would be nice to have some backup behind me from not only myself as practice study, but through people that I'm trying to help, such as yourself. And the last question is from Dazza_Daz_. He said, I miss you, baby. So my good friend Darko, thank you so much for getting involved in this community, and I hope you're watching this video. I'm not going to let you know that I'm replying to you in this video, because I want to see if you watch it, and I just want to say I miss you too. So my friend Darko, I've known for a couple years now, and I've just started to work with him, but recently he's left work, so I haven't been able to see him for the past week. So it's nice to hear from you, Darko, and I hope we can catch up soon. I hope you remain consistent with everything that you're doing, with all your modeling stuff and your intense, crazy ab workouts, which I like to start incorporating more into my life. You are a big inspiration to me, and the way that you live your life, and you're always such a happy, and not only happy, but most importantly, you're one of the most generous people that I know, and so willing to give to strangers out of the goodness of your heart. So yeah, thank you for checking in with me and being part of my community as a close friend, but also as a viewer of my content. So I hope some of this information you take out and incorporate into your own life, and if you do, let me know how it goes. I know I've said this a few times throughout the video, but let me know how it goes, because if it does go bad, it's the criticism that I need to be able to move forward, to be able to communicate better to people, to actually help people, which, as I said in my last video, my goal in life is service to humanity, and that's what I think the meaning of life is, service to humanity, and I want to do my best to give my service to humanity. So yeah, I'll take any criticism, but also things that have worked, because if you tell me that things have worked that you have got out of this video, I'm able to reuse that information and help other individuals who need it. Big love. Thank you so much for tuning in to Look Up with Beau, and always remember, in the depths of despair, to look up.